We will be starting shortly. Disclaimer. The following stream contains art and development of an original IP belonging to Bonny John. Any concepts and development made on this stream belong to Bonny John, creator, in perpetuity. Anything shared through comment, critique, feedback, or suggestion that aids the development of the property also belongs to the creator. In short, please refrain from sharing your own original ideas. This is not a collaboration. By participating in this stream, you agree to the above statement. Thank you for understanding. Hello? Welcome to today's stream. I'm Professor Bohdi, aka Mr. Bonny John. Thank you for the enthusiasm in chat. I'm very excited to start our Summer of Xotempo. It's springtime, but summer will be here shortly. Welcome in, you guys. I'm going to say hello to Chill Bill, Dingus, Nui Hikari is here. Rykar has made it, and Joe is here as well. Welcome in, you guys. Great to see you. It's so crazy because it's been... Hello, Dirk. Welcome in. I love your enthusiasm. I definitely appreciate it. I'll be on the camera again because this is my own original IP, you know? So even though my buzzed hair is kind of like short, it's coming in. But I want to be present for working on this IP. And what's up, Lorik? Wow, good time to come back, Lorik. It's been a while. Good to see you. Good to see you. You know, I've been doing around 3 streams a week. I try to fit in with life, and, you know, life is happening, and little by little, just continuously working on these projects, on these dreams, right? Hope you guys have been well. I have, and before I start, I want to show some blessings I got, okay? Well, the first one, okay, first one, shout outs to Anchor. The case I had before got messed up, so they sent me a replacement case. This is a Decidui card. Let me show you this Decidui, because he's pretty cool. I got it. It was so nice. Somebody at Goblin Market gave it to me for free because they found out I love Decidui. Here's the case of the card. Is Arceus, and here's the Decidui. Pretty cool. Shout outs to you. I wish I got your name, but thank you so much. That really made my day. So shout outs to Anchor. Maybe they'll sponsor me one day, right? You never know. I want to sponsor. Get Xotempo out there. Next up, you know, I ball. You know, I'll be balling my new N1 ball because I need the contrast because of my vision. Speaking of, I got my cane today. My official cane. I didn't even realize, but they gave me a holster, which is crazy. You put this on the side and you could tuck this in. So now I have that. They also gave me a light, which is cool because I can then put it on the body of the cane. So it lights my path. And I'm like, holster and a light? I feel like it's a COD loadout. Here is the cane. Ta-da! So then we just take this out. You go like this. Finger like this, tilt to the side, have it at your like belly button. You go left, right, and I knock something over. So I'm very grateful to that, to the Division of Blind Services and Lighthouse, which has helped me with all that kind of stuff. So I wanted to of course share that stuff because you guys have kind of been watching that journey, I just kind of want to line it up with Xotempo, and that I want you guys to always remember, even in like dark moments and dark times, like hold on to what makes you you and find those things that you're passionate about, you know? All day I've been working on Xotempo stuff, meaning prepping up. Today we're not going to work on monster designs, but as you can see, I want to like really get back into the character stuff. Yeah, and I'll talk more about the cane stuff in a sec too, Dingus, don't worry. I basically want to like continually create these characters, and I'll be making more and more characters, more so on my own. I'll do a day where I like reline and figure out details and colors and whatnot. But actually, you know what? I guess I'll quickly And don't forget, David Boy is the brand. Damn right, Nui. Shout outs to you for that. I love that. Thank you. Original IPs, hell yeah, Dirk. I hear ya. I hear ya. What's up, Atomics? Welcome in. Hello, Tengu. Why do I need a cane? So I have retinitis pigmentosa, and so it's a disease where it'll slowly take my vision. It starts with the peripheral and it kind of comes in tunnel visions. So now I have really a strange deadline, except I don't know when my due date is for my vision to really, sometimes, it stays for a while. Other times it might go sooner, but it gives me an opportunity to work with a sense of urgency, which I always need. I always need like a deadline. And XOTEMPO is just one of those things. Same with the David Boy brand and the original characters and stuff I want to make with that. Fine art. But yeah, more or less, I've been going over a lot of the XOTEMPO stuff because it's been a while. So I'm going to quickly show you guys. It's going to take a second here. I'm not going to go over all of these designs, but for example, I've hidden the starters because they're going to be adjusted, and I want that to be something you guys can be excited for. And I'm not going to go over all of these designs. I just kind of quickly show the fact that I designed over 100 plus XOTEMPO last year. And I had such a blast with you guys. It was something that I really felt energetically aligned to do. I felt very motivated intrinsically, and I developed a lot of the lore, the look feel of the mons, of everything and anything as far as branding for my own original IP. And I look back at it, and it's kind of great. It's a great thing that I didn't jump from one stage to the next. Because when I look at a lot of these XOTEMPO, my God, I cannot wait to tackle many of these designs. I have a better grasp and understanding at shape language, color, overall like monster design, by giving myself a chance to horse. I know I really love this design. By really giving myself the chance to step away from this, I see exactly how I want to tackle the designs. So for example, these two guys are very similar, the evolved forms. This one is based off of a giant dune worm style cryptid that was found in India by Alexander the Great, apparently. And this one is a concept on a mimic. And basically, they feel similar visual designs. And, I want to like go over a lot of the designs and make sure they're not stepping on each other's toes, right? Like I want to be able to make sure that many of these designs can breathe and stand on their own, right? So being able to look back and kind of see like, oh wow, there is a lot of room here for growth for these designs that, I do think many of them are really, really strong. And this one's based, clip that. What about your art and stuff? Will it be affected? Absolutely. But I'm not going to let it affect me as much as I can, like I just got to keep working, right? Been a while since I did the designs. Absolutely. By type designs, you mean type symbols? Yeah. So it's not going to be just type, right? I'm going to go over that kind of stuff. Yes, indeed, Ruck. Welcome in. And ultimately, yeah, there's a lot you guys won't see. This is 111, more or less. There will be XOTEMPO you cannot catch. That's story-based. You'll never be able to catch. Like legends and stuff, certain legends you can't catch. There might be XOTEMPO you fight as certain bosses that you won't be able to catch, but you'll be able to interact with in some capacity. So I'm very proud of these creations. And so I got to look over that stuff. I might do a stream day where I go over the logo and such. it might be a more boring stream. So I don't know. Let me know if that's something you guys would want to see me do. Like, for example, I really love this totem style, like secondary logo. I want to redesign it now that it's no longer PoTempo, it's XOTEMPO. So yeah, this is like kind of the base logo. I want to like continually update this as well. Yeah, I wanted to go to PAX East. I had a buddy who went and he seemed to really enjoy it. So basically, I'm just going to preface that we're not going to meet the 111 XOTEMPO. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff you guys aren't going to be able to see either. I did 4 brand new designs yesterday of the legendary variety. So those you'd have to play the game and experience that way, you know? I would be a bad designer slash creator if I show everything, you know? Caesar Temple live stream crashes through the wall. What's up? What's up? Are these the official lineup? It's, you know me, Draco. Welcome in. Now that it's been 1 year, it is a little too early to decide. These are for sure. These are for sure. I'm going to go through and just truly fine tune. And there are several 3 stages. I mean, 111 compared to say 151, it doesn't seem like a lot, but when you look at it like that, it is a lot. And if you're going to have a team of anywhere from 5 to 6, considering there are a few XOTEMPOs, 2 stages and 3 stages that can split evolve, and I'm having it so that you always revert back to baby, you can have 2 3-stage XOTEMPO on your team, right? I'll give you one example. I don't want to go too much into the designs, but like, for example, let's do this shark design, right? So you start with a manta ray, it becomes a swordfish, and then you could, I don't know the name yet, it might be something like X boost or something. You could either go this route and then say you fight, and you wouldn't be able to do it in a single turn, but you could evolve it up into one battle and fight like this. And then in the next battle, you could like X boost your swordfish into this guy. So it'll give you an opportunity and chance to really have, you know, a good variety of designs, you know, like on your team. So you can see exactly, I also feel like I have a really nice spread because there's no single stages, right? Like in Gen 1, there was a good number of single stage Pokemon, which is fine. It's like a good way to like pad out the designs of that generation, but I like to be able to give you guys something to work towards. And so no XOTEMPO, except your guide, will stay in their first form. This is your guide. He's not even, he's considered like XOTEMPO 00, you know? So it's not like he's even part of the true decks. He's more like an accessory slash your friend than a XOTEMPO you capture. Likewise, of the legendaries, I had done this one on stream before we ended the Summer of Xotempo. You don't formally capture these legendaries in my game. What's up, boss man? My guy Deeves is here. Xotempo logo so clean. Thank you, Gwinty. Welcome in. First time seeing it? Gang. I'm going to be working on it a little more. It's going to be awesome. You got to come to PAX East. I want to. The Xotempo logo will slowly also be tweaked alongside a lot of my mons. What's up, Red Claw? I see you too. Welcome in. Welcome in. 1 year in is wild. What a journey. I know. And the thing is, it was really only 2-3 months of work, but it was a lot of work. So the guide into Rotom decks. Absolutely. Exactly right. Water rendering looks good. Thank you. Thank you. Very interesting mosquito line. I hear you. I hear you. There's a lot of cool stuff in here. And one thing I'm very proud of these designs is that they don't look like Pokemon to me. They don't look like Digimon to me. I think I really nailed something that feels like something I created. And that's very exciting. So little by little, we're going to work on a key number of Xotempo. So I'll be lining these over time. So just like how I've been doing the lines for the starters and whatnot, we're going to look at a few of these guys will line, because I think these are the longest year. I know, right? These are like really early, but also to me iconic to Xotempo designs that I want people to see early on, right? And then when you play the game, you get to meet like this crazy cast of Xotempo. And so these design streams will be a little different because, for example, this is just a gelatin and this is just a cube. But what I want to do is I really want to explore shape and concepts and not just like kind of just line in the way that I've done before. I might try different shapes for this Xotempo that's based off of this Indian always hungry ghost called the Preta. And so I want to see like where I can change things. Certain parts of these designs I may not change. But another thing that I want to figure out, all Xotempo first forms, they have helmets or masks that they hide behind. And, you know, thematically, it simply kind of telling the viewer that they have a persona that you have to break, right? They're different flavors, right? One is orange and one is lime. And so other things that I want to do is I'll introduce the fact that some Xotempo evolve based on their nature, right? Order and chaos. We'll get back into that kind of stuff. I might be changing that depending on how things develop. But there was a second design here, but my friend pointed out that, and it's crazy because I designed my version of the Wolf in Sheep's Clothing live on stream, and it just so happened to kind of look like two other Fakemon designs based off of that. And I was like, wow, talk about stream of consciousness where three different artists end up making something that felt very similar. So I might have to redesign that on stream at some point. So these are all for a pitch Bible, right? And the idea is I want to have a good diversity of designs in the pitch Bible, right? You're going to have to show off the guide. I want to show off cute Xotempo. I want to show off what weird Xotempo. I want to show off the wacky, friendly Xotempo. Like, I want to show off the fact that there's like a split evolution mechanic, right? And that a limited number will be able to split. I want to showcase, you know, jolly and then brawler type Xotempo, right? And then, of course, for me, this is going to be one of the flagship Xotempo. I'm going to have to, I want to redesign certain elements of this guy. He's a little inconsistent. But that's what these streams are going to be. I'm going to be learning about my franchise as much as you guys, right? I have also so much more experience now that I'll really, really get to push these designs exactly where I want them to go. So this will be the only 3-stage that's going to be in the design document. And, you know, what's that? The starters. I probably won't be designing the starters on stream, but you guys will be able to see them at some point. And look forward to it. It's going to be really, really cool. Down the line, I think I will, for the Summer of Xotempo, reline and like update the designs for many of my main characters. I'm also going, like, for example, these guys are holding staffs with these magnifying glasses. I don't know if that's going to be the true capture devices yet. I still have to figure that out. I don't mind designing certain mysterious characters. So we'll see. Let me catch up to you guys here. These are very unique design elements. They're really comparable. Hell yeah. Thank you, Gwinty, for saying that. I appreciate that. They're their own things, and that's what we want. Hell yeah, I'm glad, Nui. First live, haven't seen this art before, loving it. Awesome, awesome. I just want my top favorite, you know what, is still in it. Otherwise, I'll look to see what you plan. I would never remove that guy because I think he's going to be my Charizard of the franchise. Like, genuinely. Mask, Persona, disturbing the peace. Pray that from the SMT. What's up, JC? Our mods here. Return of Xotempo. Praise. Muted? I don't think so. Can't wait to learn more about Xotempo. I as well. Based on Orca Whale, it's an Orca, it's an Ocklut, starters, Monkey, Slug, and something. Destroyer, what's up? Welcome, welcome. I think I remember a True Green because my girl Virgo, shout out to Virgo, designed one of the coolest pseudo legendaries. Ryoma, welcome in. Yeah, man. Ryoma the GOAT is here too. Deebs and Ryoma in one day. What a nice day to bring back some tempo. Can't wait. Yeah, I was just looking at my starter designs and they are really cool. Like I said, I am in a place where I'm looking at these designs and I'm like, yo, I can make them so much better now. And that is so exciting to me. That is genuinely so exciting to me. So Dingus is writing, what is the types? I've yapped, I've shown you logo designs, I've showed you a good chunk of the Xotempo we'll be tackling throughout the Summer of Xotempo. I'll show you one, hold on. I'm going to show you guys one, hold on, what the, okay, yeah, you guys stay right there. Rio Mama, I'm going to show you one design that is a legendary and you guys can't, that's it. That's all you guys can see. All right. I don't know what that is. Actually, I do because I made it. So there you go. I'm going to pull up now what we're going to look at for today. What the? What if I just continued the stream here and I'm drawing and you guys just watching in the middle of the screen like this? There we go. That's it. Even then, this isn't like full screen. Why? Why is it like this? All right, there we go. Johnny John Cambio. This is what we're gonna work on today. Cutie, is that a JoJo reference? Hell yeah. One type, nothing. It looks delicious. Hell yeah. So I want to hug it. Me too. It's going to be, all I'm going to say is, no, I can't say anything. Dust bunny like creature? Yeah. So today, I'm going to first kind of go over the two things we're going to be working on. So I don't know what these are called yet, right? I don't know if I'm going to go with type. I've been working with things like style or genre. You guys may have remembered this very vaguely. Whether or not this stays as it were, I'll go over all this stuff today, I promise. And then here's another kind of legacy level of like descriptor for the Xotempo. So one of the first things I set out to do when it came to designing Xotempo, I put monster design first, right? When it comes to Xotempo, I wasn't like, there needs to be 10 fire types, 10 water types, 10 electric. Pokemon's got that down covered, and I love that for Pokemon. I want to do something for myself, which is, I just cherish design as it were. And Pokemon design is great. Because you have types and you bound them into your design, it, you know, creates these nice limits that you live and breathe by. And therefore, when you release a light blue or a dark blue Pokemon, for the most part, you're going to guess, oh, the light blue is probably ice and the dark blue is probably water, you know? And basically, when I thought about like descriptors, I'm not much of a game designer, but I knew that, one, people like that kind of stuff, and it just makes it easier to group and understand things at a distance. What's up, Ollie? Welcome in. What is it? What is it's called? Tempo, where each of these typings have their own beat to them. I've thought about tempo for sure. And the thing is, when you say XOTEMPO's tempo, it feels a little redundant. I don't hate the onomatopoeia of it. Um, but that's why part of me is like, do I want to do typing? Because I don't want people, and I've said this before on stream last year. Zoe could possibly be what these typings are manifested as monsters. Basically, the XOTEMPO will belong to kind of like a class, right? And they could be up to like 2. And they are mythic. For the most part, mythic are XOTEMPO you cannot catch. At most, you can befriend them, or you win them over, or you earn their favor, and they fight alongside with you, not for you. Gameplay-wise, think of it more like a summon from Final Fantasy, like Final Fantasy X in specific. Because I think each of those games treat like summons a little differently, but it's like the same thing. And what about marks? I was thinking carving in the mask, they start with also like a cutie mark. That's cute. Being a musician, referring to creatures' tempo sounds more like speed than type. That's true. So Tempo's back. Welcome, Shard. Good to see you. Long time no see. I would say Mythic is just going to be a way for me to kind of make sure you guys know that they're very legendary, right? I would say, I guess designing alien life forms counted as monster design? Absolutely. I mean, monster design, creature design, character design, it's all under the same umbrella, right? When you get into game development, what engine you're using, I'm not. I'm just the creative person. I just want to write the story, you know, I want to direct it. I want to do the character and monster designs. So it's way too early for me to say. But basically picture essence instead of type. There's a bunch of different words I've marked down already that I've liked a good number of, like faction. I even like guild, like what guild they belong to. Set is funny because I'm thinking throwing up your sets. There's style, of which now that I realize I wrote style. There's nature. Order isn't going to work. Genus. Nature seems to work too. Like, what are its natures? If you want to say music terms, for example, I would say something more like key or clef. It feels more apt. I wouldn't do a music kind of thing. But it's, for me, tempo still tracks because it's not musical. Yeah, a musical person might think that, but tempo also belongs to the world of like rhythm and, in this case, being in step and rhythm, right? Rhythm also can be equated to music, but then also its own thing. So I see tempo as the same thing. I love the design element, but I hate the prospect of actually coding it. Yeah. What union is your XOTEMPO and dead ass? So what if the mythic is basically a higher sub? Oh yeah, I mean that could be. Relic was a planned DLC type. Dingus. Yes and maybe no. If there's one type, and if you know, you know, do not say it. It wouldn't be Relic, but it might be something else as a DLC or a series 2. I'm only gonna say just because I don't want to bog things. Maybe the types could be called cultures. What culture it comes from. But yeah, I would, you know, more or less, it's not really important what I'm calling them right now. But I'm gonna go over the ones, and we're gonna like design it right here. And then we're gonna do the same for this batch as well. So whereas this one is gonna be more like, it's, think like in Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Like you have a light monster or fire monster or whatever. And then it's got like, it's like in Yu-Gi-Oh you could have fiends or spellcasters or things like that, you know? And over here, this batch, it's like more of the gameplay. I mean, both are affected by gameplay. you can clearly see I don't design the gameplay side of things yet. But I like this idea. We're going to go over this really quickly. Where there's only 4, if anything, I would call these the types, right? These might straight up be type. Like, what type is your XOTEMPO? And in this case, right? I would say that I don't want, for example, if you love Blastoise, but you hate that it loses to Venusaur, right? In Pokemon type is so coded into the design of the creature. I like this idea that you can essentially build your XOTEMPO to be however you want their skill set to be, right? You can build them up to be Might, Moxie, Magic, or Wild, okay? Now, a lot of this is, of course, still very up in the air. I like the idea as, yes, Gwinty, that's absolutely what I was going for. And the idea is Magic, Might, and Moxie are kind of like the main 3. Those who know, and please don't say, each starter is based off of Might, Moxie, and Magic. Okay? That's your base starters. Wild is its own thing, which is why it doesn't live with the M's, right? It becomes W for wild, because it's its own thing. It's wild. Very intentional. So Magic is special. Might is physical. Moxie is like a little bit of a balance between the two, but more physical. Because think of a boxer who has heart. He has a special heart. He doesn't give up, right? But he's swinging despite everything. Wild is like, think untamable magics, right? So you have high special with your physical body kind of like not deteriorating, but like you're kind of, it's again the reverse of Moxie. So as of right now, I'm picturing that it's a type chart like this. Okay. Now I do have a few things where I really want to reward you, Wario type. I really want to reward you for bonding with each of your XOTEMPO all the way. I think that's super important. It happens in Pokemon here and there, where things like, oh, Pikachu thugged it out for you with 1 HP left. Like, I like that a lot. I really want most evolutions to happen by bonding, you know? There might be something that when you bond, it might unlock something special. I won't say anything. Let me catch up with what you guys are seeing here. Food-type bug snacks. Some ideas about DLC. I'm just going to iterate. I appreciate any ideas, but please keep it to yourselves, because remember, this is not a collaboration. I don't want to take your ideas and then you guys sue me, you know, like a year later. I'm trying to, as you see by my disclaimer, which I read at the top, by participating in stream, you can see it right here. You relinquish any claim to the development of the intellectual property belonging to Bonny John. Do not share your original ideas. Dingus writes, I have to ask, what's your favorite type here? And I think he asked that while I was going through here. Honestly, I quite like the chaos side of things. I quite like gothic and cryptic. Now, I'll have to like sit down and like really think about what each of my XOTEMPO, what type they are. And we'll see if like some XOTEMPO, if there's not enough, I'm just randomly saying, if there's not enough runic, I could see myself axing runic, because what's the point? Maybe that's something that pops up in the future, you know? But yeah, more or less, I would say, does a certain Pokemon artist named Moxie be involved in the story? Not in the slightest. Moxie is a word before Moxie's name. But Let's see. Wild type is the Wario in a world of Mario's. That's why it's the best. That's funny. Pikachu thugged it out. It's killing me. I forgot what they say, but it's really funny. Socialings. Persona enters the chat again. What's up? Bonnie with an IE. Justin. Tis, tis, tis. I want you guys to make sure your guys autocorrect never says IE. For my name. But anyway, what should we work on first today? While you guys decide, so either we can do not nature's, and this happened last time too. It's not nature's, it's not. Yeah, I really like Tribe so much. It really fits the vibe of the world, but I think really popular one that came out with the Yokai Watch. Is that what it's called? Yokai Watch? No problem, Bonny, Bienny, Bonnet. I like Tribes, but Tribes is like too reminiscent of the other thing. I'm gonna say, you know what? I kind of like class, like the Might class. And then maybe I'll quickly Yokai Watch thing, yeah. Bounty, that's a new one. Mr. Bonny Johnny with the IE at the end. Good gravy. All right, so here we have Mythic, right? Mythic could be like, when I say sub-designation, the top. So it could be like a Mythic Gothic Runic. That definitely gives a little bit, you know. Lego Mixels? I've never heard of Lego Mixels. Gothic. So what Gothic is in my world, the Psychic type, Ghost type, Dark, and like a Necro type in one, right? Runic. Runic is your elemental types, okay? So Runic is your fire, electric, water, ice, wind. Like it is Xotempo that use elements as their primary, like that build out their body, you know? Typic. Now, it might be called typic, but I could also see it be potentially called stoic. I keep going back and forth with this. Typic really works for me because typic is typical. It's normal. So typic would be your normal, fighting, and bug types, right? Fighting and bug are silly types to me. I love them in Pokemon, but to me, a bug is just a type of animal. And then fighting is just normal but disciplined. So I like typic kind of being an all-encompassing thing for what seems to be, again, like not that fighting styles are normal, but it is the application of oneself, right? You have cryptic is going to be your Fae, your Objectmon, anything unexplained, which is why like a relic type, if I were to ever do relic kind of fits in cryptic for me. Like an automaton seen at the dead of night would be like a cryptid to me, you know? A cryptid in itself is cryptic as in you have to decipher it, right? So now if there could be a case for there could be a case for relic to be its own thing, but yeah, typic is kind of like beast. It's just like, I don't want to say run of the mill, but it's like one of the default, you know? Gothic Mythic could be their ancestry or history. Oh, ancestry. I really like ancestry a lot. I like ancestry a lot. What ancestry are they from? Interesting. Would a skunk monster be in it? I'm not sure. We'll see. But this is just an animal type, pretty much, right? So cryptic is essentially, like I said, like there's not like a Fae type per se. Like you can kind of say fairy, Objectmon, anything unexplained goes into it. Exactly. Relic would have to be anything like man-made. That opens its own story and design philosophy and stuff like that. Relic is a fire name. But I feel like Gothic and Cryptic have too much overlap in terms of name from an intuitive. Like, what makes a ghost not Cryptic or a Mothman not Gothic? So I'm going to go over Gothic right now. Gothic is psychic, ghost, dark, and necro, right? Like the undead. So when it comes to Cryptic, right? Cryptic is just unexplained, and Gothic can be explained through like psychic and metaphysical, right? Cryptic is what goes thump in the dark. Is that the saying? And then Gothic is like the thing that can track and reveal the thing that goes in the dark. So I hope that makes sense. Now, another thing for Gothic that I had considered at one point was cultic. That also kind of tracks. Cultic seems a little too it doesn't sound as kosher to me. Now mythic, bump in the night, thank you. Mythic is your dragons, your fairies, your legendaries, your mythical Pokemon, essentially. Anything that like feels, what's the word, like elevated, like something that feels like you shouldn't even be looking it in the eyes, right? Which is reserved for a very small level, which is why mythic lives in its own station, right? And the 5 ancestries, yeah, that sounds really good. The 5 ancestries live in their own space, like below heaven, so to speak. All right. So let me know if you. I'm curious what you guys think about Gothic and Cryptic. Do you guys feel like they do feel different? I mean, the names feel different enough, or is there overlap? I'm just curious. Mixers are weird little guys that fuse together to mixes, maxes, or merps. Their tribes are groups of 3. Oh, that's cute. Gothic-like designs also fit Cryptic and vice versa. I don't care if it's a problem. I think that's the point. Okay. Phallic, Jesus. I think an elemental king. What does that mean, elemental king? So Gothic and Cryptic. It could be the unexplained, because Gothic is, now you got me thinking. Sounds different enough. I think they're different enough. Cryptic, because when you hear cryptid, it's unknown. Gothic is the thing that can sense the unknown. Sounds different enough. Gothic and Cryptic, because they're on the same side of chaos. So I like that there is similarities in the same way Lithic and Typic are on the same side of order. So I'll go over Lithic, which is your ground, rock, and steel, right? All your elements of the earth, right, live in the Lithic. Highest ranking spirit of a certain element? In what? It's just that the two are both unknown factors. Yeah, okay. That's the point. But I like that, this was brought up because I want to be able to hear all the aspects, right? Gothic makes you think of cathedrals and gargoyles. That's true. Rock and stone, flint and steel. My first XOTEMPO stream. Welcome in, Slow Lord. Hell yeah. Okay, so now that I think everybody kind of gets, if you guys think there are better words, please let me know. I'm content with these for right now. I think Lithic and Runic are perfect. Mythic, at one point, I think I had it as either epic or... what did I have it as? Exotic. When I think of exotic also works because it's like from another space or place, but it seems more, this is gonna sound gross, but like fetishized in a weird way. Mythic just sounds mythical. Like a Sasquatch wouldn't be gothic and phantom wouldn't be cryptic. Yes, exactly right. What about mystic? You know what? Mystic also really works, and I think I also did think mystic at one point. I think mystic and cryptic sound really good together, actually. The only thing is it gets close to mythic. Mythic to epic. See, I also thought of epic, but epic has been ruined by the internet. You know? In my opinion. I really could see it be mystic instead of gothic. Here's the thing. This is what I'll say. I'll change gothic into mystic if we get something better than mythic. Because mystic does sell it better than cryptic or gothic for sure. Like, I'm already sold on it. Exotic is rare but reasonable to see. Like if someone has a kinkajou, what is a kinkajou? Not that it's reasonable to see, but like in our real world, yes, Jay, it'd be. Psychic would be legit. Yeah, but I wouldn't want it to be psychic. Historic, too long. Another thing that I've done is each word is 2 syllables. So it's nice and easy to just read. What about aliens? Aliens would be in the cryptic. Exotic is what I use for my shinies. Fumbling the explanation. I don't mind them. I just think cryptic could also imply as it covers ghosts and ghouls. Yeah, I could see that. I can see that, Lorik. And by the way, I appreciate you saying it. Don't get me wrong. I like to be able to have these conversations because you guys are my audience, right? Not just my stream audience, but like potentially my gamer audience or the people who'd want to watch the show. And I want everything to fully track, you know? Because if you keep mystic, it sounds too much like mythic. Exactly. If it weren't for Pokemon historic, so historic, as I was saying, would be too long. Dark, earth, fire, ice, light, water, and wind are the typical elemental kings could potentially be a monsters for Xotempo, you mean? Or something else? Mythic could be a tier of rarity, so if you decide to make typic into stoic, the rarity would be typic, epic, mythic. I'm not so much trying to think about rarity, although that is, you will probably see the least amount of runic, like, I don't know, I didn't actually think about that. WOF character. I actually think Gothic is a nice one. Makes you understand as a meaning, another meaning besides the Gothic clothing style or the music style, right? Goth music. Mammals related to raccoons? Really? Cultic goes hard. I do like cultic a lot. But it just, again, doesn't sound kosher to me. Ghosts and ghouls are more of a category, while cryptids are more often individual. Again, cryptid is just the unknown. Gothic or mystic. Again, mystic really works for me. Mythic into magic. See, magic is a little too close to runic. Like, runic is my magic type. Elemental, right? Nocturnal pollinating. I didn't know that. What do we call the shiny equivalent? Right now I'm thinking remixes. Aulic is an old English for relating to royal court. But what would that replace? Heroic instead of mythic. I like heroic, but yes, you're right, Red Claw. It implies a good nature. But you know, the thing is, a lot of the mythics, it's not like there's evil mythic. And I guess they're neither good nor bad. They just see beyond all of that. Okay, I'm going to look up words. This is fun. I hope this is not boring. The Frick class. I also wouldn't mind if it is its own thing. If maybe I make this 3 syllables to show it's on its own plane, you know? Oh, it would replace mythic. Auric? Oh, that's cool. Although Auric is derived from gold. Cassette Beast took it? No! What's up, Maximus? Long time no see. Okay, I'm gonna look up words ending in ick. Okay. Dramatic. I mean, for Xotempo, nah, I don't think I'm gonna do any kind of king kind of thing. They do not have any chance. Not in my lore. In my version of the lore, Mythic is completely outclasses these guys. Like, these guys are chump change. Mythic will be the Xotempo you're summoning, and they're gonna be freaking awesome. Oh, Aulic with an L. Garlic. The Ictionary? Yeah. Okay, here we go. Epic. Like I said, Epic is cool, but like the internet ruined it for me. It's so like epic. You know, it just doesn't have that oomph anymore. Do y'all agree with me, or am I tweaking? I like how I'm on Do Not Disturb and then it still makes an auditory sound when someone texts me. What if there's a type called the Ick? For all the furry bait? Oh, nah. Titanic. They're just primordial. Oh, I like that. Azonic. Which means... Azonic is three. Gaelic? That's like more a language, no? Frederick. Nordic, also kind of like in a cultural space. But I'm gonna go through some words right now. What if I did relic for the legendaries? Nah, it doesn't sound epic enough. See how I'm saying epic enough? Picnic. Auric. Auric is cool, but like we wouldn't know. Lyric. Like wind-based for the gods, because they're born from the first breath of the god of Xotempo. Basic. Phallic is still in the air. Pause. The thick. Logic. Civic. Panic. Pubic. Medic. Sonic. Stoic, which we have either typic or stoic. I like typic. What's funny is I did this last year too, but it's good to like go over it again. You know what I need in times like this, chat? I need a nice Pepsi Zero. Sponsored by Pepsi. Man, that Pepsi Zero sure hits. Now I can think better or something. Also, Pepsi, you owe me a lot of money. Basic? Nah, basic is too boring. Olympic! The rivalry of the phallic and pubic ancestries is crazy, Rick. Legendary athletes. Metric is exclusive everywhere except for America. Lyric is... Yes, exactly. Red Claw. That's... I'm like trying to get into space like that. Listen. What's funny is each of these have a different thing. Okay, ready? So in this top row, I have like... That it's in my inhaler. Fried candy from Japan. I've got pimple patches. Like I got like a lot of like my health stuff here. Athletic tape. All right, this one's like a boring. Okay. This one, I got my contacts. Got my bandana. Got books here. The Power of Now. Late Bloomer. My dog Manga Yellow Stringer. You know what? I'm gonna read these two. I'm gonna read this. Alright, so that's what this drawer is. Oh, also, all my Pokemon video games, all my Switch games. Alright? I got DS games in here. Ooh, yo, look at this. I forgot I had this. Marvel vs. Capcom 3 Collector's Box. Oh, what the fuck? Super Smash Bros. Brawl is in there. I would never have found that. Fuck. Wait, Wait, so then where's Marvel versus Cap? Next. This one. Gotta have the bear hat. Y'all know about my bear hat. And then I've got like magazines in here. Shout outs to Chapel Rome. Alright. And y'all already know about me. Come on. Come on. Y'all didn't know about this. Y'all know about my Yu-Gi-Oh! Got my Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Y'all know about my Yu-Gi-Oh cards. My white one, I have a white deck. That's the fairy deck. And then I have like the black one and I left half of them. This is the zombie deck. Alright. I didn't know about that. No. Heartbreak things. We're throwing them out. Okay. Next up. The drink jar. That's the drink jar. And then here. This is the most important jar. Got all this kind of little trinkets and stuff. Like all these special stickers, charms, medical records. Okay. Oh my god, we took so long that Shadow is here. Hold up. Dang. We're back. Alcoholic ends in egg. Music, diplomatic, cubic, attic, arctic, academic, acidic. Colonic. Oh god. Pepsic. See how my hinges at work, so there you know I'm doing this here. Lithic and Gothic kind of sound similar to me. Lithic and Gothic? Really? I don't know if I agree with that. Either way, like, the way I designed this is like cross symmetry. Cryptic, like, is the unknown. Typic is very known. Gothic is like reaching new planes, and Lithic is of this plane. Runic is in the middle as its own elemental, kind of like the combination of everything. And then these Cryptic to Gothic, this is like more ground level, as is Lithic in a figurative sense. And these become of the earth and of more, you know, like what is unknown to what is known. Right? Chaos and order, the two sides. So I have put a lot of thought into all of this. And same with the Magic Might Moxie and Wild. Okay. Antarctic, oops, no bears type. Rhythmic. Rhythmic is an interesting one. Because rhythm and tempo. Phonic. New Superman trailer? I haven't. I want to see it. Nihilistic, galactic, majestic. I like both of those, but they're not. They're so close. Tunic, canonic, mosaic. At one point, I believe I did have mythic as mosaic, not as, but like I had considered it. Symphonic. Shadow the Hedgehog. Yeah, I know. Distracting his drawer sounds crazy. It does. Rustic. Dick with the roses is crazy atomics. The Latina enjoyer, guilty as charged. It's too late, we lost him to the jar. Drink jar. Learning how to rhyme. Brody Jones from Justin's account? Nope. Xotempic, Xenoic, supercalifragilistic, that's fire. The Cryptic to Gothic pipeline, climactic and caloric. Dope categories, toxic, ascetic. Oh, like ascended. Oh, wait. What if I did rap? Because I like cryptic, but you know what could have also worked for mythic? Cosmic. Like cosmic entities. Oh, shit. But cosmic also could live in the mythic realm. Now, I'm so sorry we're doing this exercise because it is unfortunately important, because if I change the name, it could affect how it looks, even though I have set in stone in my head what I want this to like look like, you know? Plastic. Fantastic. Aesthetic is pretty cool. Let's see. Typic, lithic, runic. I like all three. Cryptic, I like a lot. I do want to change cultic and gothic to mystic. I do think mystic is the better word for... Actually, wait. Is it though? Because is a ghost mystical? Is the undead mystical? Honestly, cultic kind of works really well too. Cosmic sounds great. Didactic, demonic. Is that speaks to angelic? Dictic, that's an animal. Bonic, fantastic. What are we doing? We're working on the ancestry, which are the types of backgrounds Xotempo can have. Because I was ready to go, and then a new conversation started, which is good. It's good. Let me see. Biotic, tropic, exotic is good. But again, it just feels... I'm going to type in another word for legendary. Tragic, rustic, heroic, static. Static. Poetic. Include phase, because they're very mystic. It depends. Like, in my world, phase could either be that, the fairy type, as it were. It's kind of seen legendary. It's more like... Again, I'm not translating necessarily Pokemon into this. I'm just helping you guys understand, like, from everyone's Pokemon backgrounds of how it would look, you know. The Tangent Creator. Tropical when I hear exotic. Yeah, I hear that too. Hear me out. Melodic, mechanic. Bonnie, may I ask where you got that dresser for? A long time ago from some... I really couldn't tell you. Adonic, bionic lay, bionicle. I love bionicle. So I would say ghost can be mystic. That's true, but I want it to be very occult. That's why I like cultic. Do I do cultic and cryptic? Because if I do that, then I'd want typic to be an L word for lithic as well. You know what I mean? Adonic is, I think, too close to Adonis for me, and like that's like a person, right? A figure. I like the name Gothic. It's very unique. I do like Gothic too. You know what? I'm gonna keep it. I think Gothic still tracks. Right? Like you wouldn't call Bigfoot Gothic, you would call Bigfoot cryptic. Right? You would call a ghost now. This would be like a very Pokemon kind of thing, you know? Oh, deific, as in relating to deity. Oh. At the same time, I don't want them to be outright considered gods, even though the lore-wise, they kind of are. But they're not all mythics are created levels. Like, there are tiers to them, too, right? Takua. Change cryptic to mystic. No, I love cryptic. I think cryptic makes sense. Cryptic is basically the catch-all, right? You know what? Let's do this. We're going to look at some of the XOTEMPO, right? Chat, what is this guy? I'm going to outright say, for example, this guy to me is probably... He could be cryptic. He could be... See, now I'm tweaking because it's not mythic. It's not mystic. Cultic. Is he like... This is a great way to do the exercise. Akin to a god. Fair. I call Bigfoot Gothic if he wore some high boots or knuckles on him. That's funny. It's going pretty fantastic. They work. I mean, there's confusion with rock ground, so I think you can make it. Yes, I think you're right, Gwinty. But this, I love this. Gothic vibes. See, he's cryptic to me. Ooh, Celestic. Celestic is cool. It's like a spirit yokai. Makutic. Yo, this is really cool. I love that everyone's coming in. So Gothic, but then cryptic. What's the difference, right? Okay, here's another one. Is this guy Gothic or cryptic? To me, this one's clear. This guy's cryptic. He's like his own weird little thing, right? Who is this guy? Oh, this is a really good exercise. He could be Gothic, right? Like an undead plant, but then he's also got cryptic vibes. Now, here's the cool part. Gothic to me seems more sinister than cryptic. See, that's funny because I feel like it can go backwards too. Archaic. Ooh, that's interesting. Now, what I have to understand is, what does it mean for these creatures to have these backgrounds? You know? It means that the type of moves that they learn relate to their ancestry, and then their types, be it magic, might, or moxie, that will alter their stat spread. You know? Gothic, lithic. Oh, you're right. It could be that. It could be lithic. That's very true. Anything of the earth. So you know what? I would do Gothic, lithic for this one. I thought of cryptic as the mysterious on an earthly plane, and Gothic is the mysterious and the mental. I like that. It's a good way to look at it. Slime is cryptic. Gothic makes me think of Gothic horror monsters adjacent. Cryptic to me sounds confusing rather than Gothic, which I associate with darkness. Gothic is, yeah, like spells and darkness, necromancy, the astral, you know? Could they fit? Yeah, they can have two. No new type yokai. Can we hear your idea on difference between Gothic and cryptic? Because there's a connection between the two. Absolutely. Now that someone mentioned it, I was thinking this too. It's very much living in a rock and ground kind of space, but not as... Like, to me, rock and ground could be the same. A lot of cryptids are just weird animals, not really monsters, fair. So, I would say, again, with Gothic, it is exactly as Maximus has said, right? Gothic is the mental, the spiritual. It's breathing almost like a, not dark, but like living in a space of a higher plane, where cryptic, again, cryptic is the catch-all for everything unknown, right? If you're Gothic, you're tapping into psychic abilities. You're tapping into kind of like a more darker, unknown kind of power. Cryptic is the opposite of typic. What's typical, right? It's, I see what you're doing there, Ruck. I think its shape is known. In this case, it's very much a cube. It's like a gelatinous cube. It's like formed in this way, where this one is kind of free-flowing. But he's right here, where it's amorphous. It's kind of like hard to track it fully, you know? Slime seems typic to me, or even runic. Typic is slimes are usually common, and runic because they're typically elemental. Here's the thing. You'd be relating it to a meta kind of space, knowing their background. In this world, they wouldn't... They could be typic to some degree based on like what the ask was when I was designing it. Unexplained versus unknowable. I love that, Gwinty. Sableye would be cryptic, Cough Egregious would be gothic. Exactly. Cubic type, just for the slime boy. Gothic's more about psychology. Not psychology in like knowing one's mind. In a way, yes and no. But it's more like a cult. That's why I think cultic would really work. And cryptid, again, is more like the catch-all for like, all right, let's keep playing this game, because I think Gothic Lithic tracks. Here's this guy. What would he be? I think he could be... I think he's cryptic, actually. You know what? No. Just because the Abominable Snowman is a cryptid doesn't mean he has to be. This guy is typic, and I want to say lithic. He's very much like a fighter, brawler, like a regular animal dude. And then he's like hard snow, like ice or rock, you know? Cryptic runic due to ice. Oh, you know, it could also be... It could be lithic runic. Now, runic, I kind of think more so elemental, like special attack, versus like this guy just seems like he punches with his fists. Typic runic, a lot of runic. Cryptic is Yeti, but see, he's not a Yeti in this world. He's a Yeti in your world. If a cryptic XOTEMPO is studied, then what? Does a Bigfoot eventually become typic if understood, or they cannot be understood? Just expect people to assume things based on comic tropes. That's very true. I was thinking runic type because I thought it controls the cold. In a world where their monsters base only the abstract, there you go. Rek has got it. Mothman? Cryptic typic? Let's look at this one. That's a good point. I don't think it needs to be... Because here's the ironic part. Cryptic is unknown. Typic is very known. It's typical, so it couldn't be, because it would be a little bit of an oxymoron. Runic, yeah, that's what I'm looking at. Runic, like for example, there really aren't a lot of monsters that use elements as like, would she be, because she's an aquatic creature, use more water moves? Would she be runic then? It could be, right? This guy is ice. Does that make him runic? This guy could be... See, this is interesting now that I'm really looking at... Is he typic? Is he lithic because he's made of ice? This is really interesting, chat. Cryptic Gothic. Yeah, that sounds right. That sounds right. Creature and spirit. This guy... See, this guy, just because he's living in the sand, he doesn't have to be lithic. To me, he's like a typical, like a typic monster. You know, he's very much monster. Mothman is just human moth, which is fairly easy to grasp. So, for example, I would want to make this guy a cryptic. This is based off of the Japanese statues that inspired Claydol, and what's his name? He looks so cool. He's black, white, and with the pink eyes, red eyes. Claydol and the other guy. He would be, maybe it's better to only decide one type. It wouldn't be. I would say it's worth it to have this conversation now. If you choose one type, it doesn't really go anywhere, right? Typic and cryptic. At the end of the day, even if it were an oxymoron, it would open up different moves, basically. Claydol and Baltoy, thank you. Turtle, Runic, and Lithic. I don't know if it reads Runic to me. This guy very much seems like he could be Typic Runic, to be honest. This is really interesting, right? I love the little space guy. Me too. Salamander would be Runic. I think, yeah, this guy would definitely be Runic, and he would be not Gothic. I could see him be interesting. Maybe Runic Typic. This guy. Maybe just straight up Typic. So, who would be a cryptic? Because again, cryptic would be, oh, I could make this guy like, this guy would be cryptic to me. He's not like he's got like psychic powers. He's a virus, you know? That's where cryptic would come in clutch, right? This would just be straight up cryptic. This guy would really be lithic. This is also cryptic to me. Because he's not a very typical monster, right? Like, I'll give you a typic monster. Like, this guy is typic. This guy is not gothic. He's not really cryptic. He's typic. This guy, he's a dust bunny. I think he's going to be typic, and I think it would be really cute to make him cryptic. Like, I think within reason, if I could, like, tie it to some of our real world mythos, like, for example, Bigfoot is a cryptid in our world, but I feel like it doesn't make sense to make him a cryptid. He's not very, like, hidden in his world. Whereas with the Dust Bunny, it's more of a fun joke, you know? And therefore, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it makes sense. I feel like it makes sense to me. Thanks, Jay. Slightly off topic, how do types interact? So again, these aren't the types, for now they're called ancestries. The ancestries only dictate the moves they can learn. With the types that are considered opposites, it makes me want to see ones that embody both. The oxymoronic downs are way more interesting. If there's a type that embodies both, I think it would kind of defeat the purpose of having the other two be unique, because it would how do I word it? Like, if there, for example, there was an in-between of water and ice, slush, it would create even more niche, but it would just kind of like lessen the impact. I don't know how to describe it. Unless you have like something to like give me an example with. Maybe Salamander is just runic. Salamander could just be runic, but since runic is, for me, the elemental type, it is still a vessel that has these flames on its back, you know? What type would a War of the Worlds tripod inspired monster be? Probably cryptic. Anything aliens is cryptic in my head. The runic types maybe are the ones with patterns on them, like they're runes that they cast spells from. It could be something like that. Like maybe one XOTEMPO is just pure typed as their ambassador. I don't think I need ambassadors, but like there can certainly, like for example, this guy just needs to be typic. I don't think he needs to be anything more, you know? I think XOTEMPO should have to do something that just happens like nobody knows. That's probably it, Gwinty. Like cryptic might be one of the more rare ones, you know? Hello, Purple, welcome in. I think it should be lithic. That is true too. Like, I was considering that as well. Because I guess it's not a real world animal per se. It is straight up made of... Yeah, that's a good point. And again, I'm just kind of quickly chucking these out. And we're not even looking at like the first forms, right? We're just kind of looking at, you know... An alternate Evo to the Dust Bunny. That's a cryptic sock that got lost in dryer. That's cute. Awesome ancestry. Thanks. Dust Bunny are mostly dead human skin. Oh, that's gross. Pretty off topic. Did you see I have some emotes in my username? Well, now you see the low battery one is my Kamiyoshi. Tagging mouse just for me. Shout outs. Emberline lithic 1,000,000%. Right? Like these guys are straight up made of like bone and you know. Actually, wait. This guy would be lithic. And then this guy would be kind of more typic. This guy is typic. The Gariel. He feels typic to me as well. So what I might have to do, chat, I might have to, in a fun kind of way, I could start giving certain elements to certain creatures, right? Like maybe this dolphin guy, maybe he could be runic. Like maybe he could be typic runic. Where he can use water attacks, you know? So Raptor and yes. Yeah, because I feel like it'd be pretty cool. That's literally the reason. I might make his horn straight up amber horn, which would be really sick. Yeah, this dragon to me screams cryptic. This is lithic, a creature. He could be typic lithic because he's like layered with like rock and stuff. Gothic, cryptic, gothic, lithic, typic. Ooh, straight up lithic. He is of the earth, just straight mushroom. Oh, you know what? No, see, this would be a cool lithic cryptic to me. Okay? This one would be lithic typic. This one is gothic to me. She's gonna be runic. Maybe runic cryptic feels really good. Yo, this is fun. This one, runic typic. I'm gonna make him runic typic. Would the dolphin be typic? Because a lot of the animals, like many of my designs are creatures, just straight up creatures. You know, like, oh, you know what? Most of these guys would be runic, like wind style, water style, thunder, punching. See, this is a good one. This would be like lithic, and this would be cryptic. It would be cryptic gothic. No, cryptic lithic. No. This is cryptic lithic, and then this is lithic gothic. He's got like that psychic ability, controlling his hands and stuff. This is just the hands. Typic. This is straight up Gothic. And this is cryptic. Honestly, chat, like, I think this experiment really... I think the types are working. If anything, I might need to incorporate more elements into some of the designs. Because right now, Runic seems very underutilized. But at the same time, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Like, I might not need Runic. To be honest with you, I think it also just simply means maybe like certain creatures have like maybe I have to bump up the kind of elements that you see across the board, right? Wouldn't aquatic Xotempo need to be runic? It doesn't have the same vibe to me as something. Yeah, I agree, Lorik. I'm with you. I don't think it needs to. Because have boxes on their heads? Well, slow, they all have, they're like masks, right? They're like totems. They're the first part of the totem. So you as their trainer, or whatever word I come up with, you help them like get rid of that mask, you know? The Dune Worm feels more cryptic, lithic due to the lack of eyes. That's a great point. That's a great point. I like that. I like that train of thought. Thick snake caught me off guard. Oh yeah. Dude, I immediately named the Amber Rhino Ramber during the process of getting the ancestries. Ramber's a cool name. I think Rambo from Donkey Kong, right? Is that what it is? I still don't get what Gothic is specifically. Gothic is the dark arts, right? It's psychic, necromancy, the undead, dark type, all of that rolled into one, right? I think good experiment for you would to give someone designs in the ancestries without explanation what they are and have them assign what they think fits. That is a good point, Quinty. I love the legs versus arms, guys. So you do have some furry bait designs? Of course. I don't know what the techniques are, but honestly, I'm just enjoying just being right here right now. Hell yeah, purple. But anthro animals can be really cool. Yeah, mine, the way I do mine anthro is they have to be the third stage. This is like one of the only, you know, like exceptions alongside this guy. But the third stages always seem to really elevate the design. Just to show like, these are split evos here, right? They don't go as far as the level of detail over here for the third stages, right? Wedding Head reads Cryptic Runic. Unlike other lithic, it feels more like a fantastical embodiment. I like the Gothic part because it's a psychic thing lifting these rocky crystal hands. It's very much of the earth, and it's using its psychic ability to you know, it could be interesting if maybe runic, because I don't have a lot of elements present in a lot of my designs. Maybe if anything, I just give them elemental based moves that they can learn. It doesn't need to mean the elements really charge up like are part of their ancestry, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? I would have thought runic would have been used more. That's what I thought, but if you think about it, a lot of my creatures are just straight up animals. Like, they're just creatures, right? Like, in Pokemon, it's a very clear thing that, like, water is part of their design. Or grass, or even then, like, grass is like part of the earth, which is why like this guy will be, even though he's got grass on him, it's not like an elemental thing, it's like a terra thing, it's like a physicality thing. Like grass is an earthly attribute, right? Like versus runic is very much like spells and utilizing like elements as, like, for example, if this guy is runic, right? Like he's got like fire part of his design, right? Would I consider simply having ice be the element, or is it more a natural part of the earth, like snow-covered mountains would be like lithic to me, right? And again, you have creatures who are aquatic. Are they, just because they're like aquatic, does that mean they're runic? No, but maybe what I could do is I can just give them, you know, attacks in this game could just simply be more flavored, right? Like if these guys had like water gun, for example, it's not like their water gun would be super effective against this guy just because he's got fire, you know? That's not how things would work per se. I just imagine Gothic is like dark arts or psychics and fortune teller. Yeah, that's exactly what Gothic is. Are you set on keeping the 5 ancestries? I think so. Runic might get scrapped. So the blue and red box is split. Evolution's exactly correct. Exactly correct. Floating crystal head creature makes me think of a piece that goes under a bionicle mask. Hell yeah. I'm also an ATL stand, so I'm slightly biased. Me too. Ramby, that's what it was. Thank you, Draco. Anther design should only be final. Gothic runic could also work. Funky guys. I like all the current runics. Runic could even be a move-only type. That's true. No runic types are temple, but they can learn runic type moves. That's true. You have lithic and runic is a thing. So 1/4 of the basic elements have their own type. Maybe have runic just be fire, ice, thunder trio, and oh, that's interesting. Fire, ice, water. No, fire, water, thunder. Maybe let go of some lithic labels and give them runic. Runic would be exactly. Runic is embodying the element, while lithic would be living around that element. But correction, intergalactic, every first stage has a wooden helmet because they're babies and they're scared of this world. They're not from here. So it's your job as the trainer to raise them and break their mask and help them become their true selves. Runic could be more like fire, thunder, frost, sound, poison, like moves that cause status effects. Absolutely. But how does that affect, like, for example, if this is a spoiler as anything, it very clearly, you can tell the rest of these guys are all runic to some degree if they're embodying their element that they represent. But it depends. Simply put, I might just have to start doing stuff like, oh, I was going to look at this guy and make him like set him ablaze, but that'd be like Arcanine. So maybe not him, but for example, this guy's already kind of like on fire, the sail. Maybe the seahorse will have to be sopping wet and it's like runic type. Maybe or you know what, or maybe the bunyip can straight up be, you know, runic. I might have to just inject some elemental stuff in here, you know. I really don't want to, just to make the runic type work. If anything, like I said, I like the idea of maybe keeping, you know what, wait, I love the creature designs, thank you. I'm happy. A lot of mythic, yeah, maybe runic. You know what? It could be that. Like, runic also sounds like ruins, which is like very old world. So, or I do this. Twixie Fox makes me queasy. This is what I think I'm going to do, chat. This makes a lot of sense. Ready? There's only 4 ancestries. Okay? And this is how, oh my god, this makes a ton of sense. Holy guacamole, ready? So you have the Order of Chaos right here. You have, oh sorry, yeah. you have the chaos born ancestries, and then you have the order born ancestries. Mythic is the godlike ability, or the godlike Xotempo. Their essence creates the runic ancestry, of which they cannot exist in this world. And so runic can simply be an ancestry of moves that are learned across the spectrum for every Xotempo. I think that's cool, where this becomes its own thing. Runic is not an ancestry that any Xotempo can have, but they can learn the move as if like blessed by the gods. I think that makes sense to me, because think about it. The chaos and order sides, I even track that, and again, these are like parallel to each other, as it were. Sorry, it's cross parallel. So Gothic to Lithic, and Cryptic to Typic. So not only have a parallel like that, and then you have cross symmetry, Runic is its own thing. Right? I think that makes sense. So this is what I'll do. I'm going to lift Runic up. And then we're going to take... I like this idea, because I'm glad we did this, because you can kind of see... you can kind of see that there really isn't a lot of Xotempo that fit the runic, and I think it would be a disservice to my character designs if I decided to like arbitrarily add fire to a Xotempo, right? If I arbitrarily added water to a Xotempo, like it would really make those creatures feel like more like Pokemon. And I'm trying to not necessarily make a competitor to Pokemon, but like it's as much a competitor as it is homage, as it is, you know, this, that, and the other. Right? Does this track like an X? I mean, right? Okay. I like this. Runic is like not special moves, but like it kind of makes sense that the gods kind of reserved the elements, right? All right. I think Lithic should be physical elements. Earth, wood, metal, and runic is the ones you can't grab. You can't grab cold or wind. Honestly, I love when a type implies more about a design than is needed, like dragon Pokemon that don't look like dragons. Yeah, I like that too. More wildlife. Runes are more mythical in nature. Norse runes, exactly. Making big moves, boys and goyles. Would you consider having more than 5 ancestries? We'll see. He's cooking. Orderborn and Chaosborn is really bringing out the TTRPG. Roasty, toasty, cooking and smoking. Fantastic idea. Listening off the types make me feel like Bond's about to sing the Pokemon. Runic is the celestial energy. Yes, exactly. This is Xotempo. You give Mythics a bonus when using runic attacks. They're already busted as is. It could be something like that. So why don't... Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'm going to make it so that as of right now... Runic, even if it's not named Runic, it could just be like a super rare type in the overworld, as it were. Like maybe my Runic is the dragon type of like looking at it over here, right? Like, you guys don't know who these are. These could straight up be my mythics, right? Same thing with these four right here are all mythics, right? But maybe I reserve runic for this batch. Also, I love knowing these guys and you don't. You know? Runic, runic, runic. That way they could really live super rare, like among the world. You know? I think I really like, and this is the importance, boys and girls, of like applying this stuff, right? Because I've spent so much time and energy doing the research, finding the inspiration, and like putting design first. Like, for example, famously, right, in I think Gen 4, there's barely any fire types, which is like a weird oversight, because if I was the director or whatever, I'd be like, oh, give me the breakdown of how the types are broken up here, you know? I don't want to have to think like that for my game, you know? Like, I don't want to have to be like, oh, there's not enough water XOTEMPO to fit the runic, you know? There's not enough fire, like, creatures just made of pure fire. Like, I chose my inspiration and balanced it out because I wanted an India-focused region, but I also put a ton of other world cultures, like, balanced it out to some degree of, like, East and West and otherwise. So I'd rather not, like, try to conform my designs to make an ancestry work, you know? I totally agree. I don't think it's a good idea to force elemental features onto your design. Runic didn't feel like it fit. Yeah, I think so too. I'm so jealous of these creature designs. Thank you. They're so cool. And they're only going to get better. I cannot wait to do all these designs. Maybe Runic is one step below Mythic. Exactly. Almost like a type embodiment of pseudo-legends. Exactly. Exactly. That's exactly it. Take care, Tengu. Are there Mythic type attacks? What if Mythic creatures is creature type exclusive and Runic is attack type? There's a bit of a parallel. Interesting. Yeah, I would say like Mythics have their own, like, it probably wouldn't even have like, yeah, like maybe it could be just their own move sets, right? Like you're summoning them again, like spirits, like in Final Fantasy. Like Bahamut is probably my all-time favorite summon in any Final Fantasy. If someone buys me a Final Fantasy X Square Enix Play Arts Bahamut figure, he's so cool. I think Bahamut and all those anima in those games, they have their own movesets. I would do the same. They'd probably only have 4 movesets. And it's your choice of how you want to obliterate the enemy with them, you know? They're not on your team. You summon them. So, like, if you choose to summon them, you probably couldn't use, like, half your party. Like, I have to figure out the balance, you know? That way you can still have your 6 friends and not have, like, one overpowered person take over your party. I want you to, like, move in this world with your friends. I want you to develop your bonds and not have to throw them away. Like, for example, if you love your Charizard and he's getting his ass beat by Blastoise, obviously you're not going to throw away your Charizard. But in my game, you build your creature based on what, like, I don't know if I'm going to call this trait or class, but you would essentially be, you know what, I want my, I'll go to my favorite XOTEMPO. And here, I like this design, but he's going to look way cooler, which is crazy because he's going to look, I can already see how cool he looks. So, I am an OnlyFans girl. All right? Get me my Amazon wish list. It was never about making the runic type. It was about the runic moves we learned along the way. Have you designed any split evos? Several, and there's very important parallels to how I chose the inspiration for each set. So Take care, Gwinty. I'm so glad. Bond-E is fine. I like this. It leads to the possibility of other move types and their origin. Something like Void, for instance. Final Fantasy Bahamut is peak. You know, a lot of people misuse the word peak these days. Final Fantasy X's Bahamut is peak. There's no greater design. Okay? Creatures that take more than one party size, something that I also thought about. Yeah, gotta say your designs are inspiration. Thank you. XOTEMPO has motivated me. Yeah, let's go. Oh my god, I want to keep it as a pet. Like, that's the thing. I want these guys to be more than your pets, right? I want them to be your best friends. So, anyway, looking at this guy, right? And I promise we're going to finally start designing the icons. We're already 2 hours in, so I'll probably stay on for another, 30 minutes to an hour. I got to hit the gym. It is, Ico. So, XOTEMPO. Okay. I don't think you guys could hear it. I was doing like the crowd cheering. You could do, are you going to make a self-insert in the game? Something, I'll say this. I don't know. I have a direction I could do that. But for some reason, like, people don't like seeing self-inserts. Or Hannah means family. And family means their game. Dead ass. My dog is my best friend? Hell yeah. I mean, my dog was my best friend. Funny enough you say that. I went to visit her at the cemetery yesterday. And I'm updating her plaque because her death anniversary is on the 29th of this month. So hopefully they'll have that soon. I'll bring flowers on the 29th. And I'll say one thing. I think I mentioned it a long time ago. There's a XOTEMPO that is either here or not here that is inspired by her. And that's all I'll say. Someone called me gas. I thought they were saying I said, yeah, that's gas. Facts. It's tough. Anyway, looking at this guy in the Pokemon world, if he was an ice type, somebody could send out a fighting type, right? And it'd be super effective, and you might have to swap them out. Now, I don't know if I'm going to do a thing where, in a way, I do have kind of like, not a type triangle, but a type diamond. I don't know if it's going to stay like that, but I feel like there needs to be some sort of type system, but I kind of, family and Vin Diesel, that's funny. I just feel like, how do I word it? Obviously, strategy is very important. That's what gets you hooked, right? The gameplay. But part of me likes the idea of every XOTEMPO being able to, I don't know, like, stand on their own, right? Like, I don't want you to always have to counter swap. If that's possible, I would love to do it that way. My sci-fi comic, the main protag squad has an alien dog based on Aqua Fire. Maybe just put yourself as an NPC that gives a few items and maybe just some cool dialogue and not just an actual character. Little alien orchidong, a goober. I think people don't like self-inserts because they can break immersion poorly. Nah, that's fair. I like the idea of each team addition feeling like an addition to your family rather than just, yeah, like, I want you guys to, like, at the very least, no matter which one of these you get, you'll know they'll evolve at least once. It won't be a phalanx situation where you're like, oh my god, I can't wait to see what this really cute and complicated design is going to be, and it doesn't evolve. If you had a self-insert, you should do it like how Inigo. How was he like? Was he a self-insert for one of the directors or somebody? That said, this guy, I like the name Orcane, but that's already taken. Or Killer, that's too much. Trying to think of a cool name. Clash? For Aklut and Clash? Oxlice, Oxlice, Oxlegend. I don't know. Um, it could be a self-insert through a character that represents you, not literally you. That's true too. You should be in the game as an optional super boss, like Pokemon developers. Oh, that's cute. Toby Fox is a white dog. Let me see its first Evo. All I'll say is I showed it off earlier. That's all I can say. I like thematic self-inserts. Yeah, that's true. The thing is, I do have a character in mind. And I won't say too much. I'll consider it. But yeah, I think Dingus is right. The moment it breaks... Like, if it's a guy with, like, short hair, a beard, you know, cutting the eyebrow, like... You'd be like, that's literally Bonnie. It pulls me out of the game. Okay. If anything, I'm kind of making the main characters homage to my nephews because I want them to see themselves in the game. Literal PNG, like my avatar. Could you imagine? I like the idea you guys said. Like, it could be someone who's like thematically like me. Or it could, like, I could do a developer style, like, boss battle person. You know? That could be cool, too. Okay. I am going to... Same as Pokemon. Same as Pokemon and Digimon, I would say. I'm not going to work on these because... I'll probably do these tomorrow. Because we're already at, like, 2 hours in. We had to cover a lot today, so it makes sense for today to like take really long and yap and cover a lot of things. Like myself, insert would be a chick mag with an insane amount of creative abilities, both thematic and boss battle. It could be any number of things. I'll just keep it a secret so no one really knows, you know. I can make myself every single character, no one would know. So this is what we'll do. It's going to be... I could see myself... Yeah, you know what? I think it's going to be... I might potentially do Cultic for Gothic. Mystic didn't seem right, because an undead, you wouldn't really call it a mystic. It doesn't feel right. So Mystic is no longer a thing. Cryptic, I kind of think it's perfect. It's like kind of like the unknown. And then Typic, and then Lithic. And then again, not every Xotempo... This is what I'll do. Not every Xotempo needs to be 2, but I would say that I'm not going to limit Xotempo by their moves based on their ancestry. So for example, if you're a Lithic Xotempo, you could learn maybe a few Typic moves because it makes sense, but you probably just wouldn't get a boost with the Typic move types. You know what I mean? Wait, no, it was Ingo, not Inigo, and he was not a self-insert, but was a character who got sent to the past. Or you can do the Black Clover thing, where Asta is not inherently the creator, but takes personality traits and aspects, but he's also his own. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I have not drawn yet, honestly. So, like I said, I'm probably going to do... Maybe this I'll do tomorrow. I don't know yet, Chatter. There might be. And then we have this. So, if anything, actually, it would make more sense if I did... I kind of want to make it an X now. Like, Xotempo, there's all these X kind of things that's happening. I have it in the designs. Like, it is very intentional. I'm a sucker for that kind of thing, you know? And so with these icons, now, if you look at any number of icons from a distance like this, you should be able to see. And you know what? I'm going to add Megamind to a list of movies to watch because I've never seen it. You see how simple this is, right? This would, whatever the symbol is, whatever type your XOTEMPO you decide to raise it as, that would be the first thing you see on its name. So you could be a mite-based Occlut or a Moxie-based Occlut. It's just depends on how you would do it. So it needs to be a simple enough design that represents each type. And this is the importance of design, right? Like where you are really living in simplicity, and that at a quick glance, it tells the viewer what they're looking at, right? So here you have magic, you have moxie, you have wild, and you have might. Now, actually, you know what? I want wild to be in this corner. You know what? Hold on. I kind of like, now that I look at it, I kind of like magic, might, moxie, and wild at the bottom, like now that I look at it. It makes a diamond shape. Maybe Mythic could get boost with all the ancestries. It wouldn't need a boost. Like, it's just going to have its own movesets. Like, they'll have their own straight up moves, Probably like super versions of like regular moves, like whatever it's connected to. It'll all be like mythic, 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 mythic. But what if you call these attributes the X factors? Interesting. It's X factor. The XOTEMPO is... What X factor is it? You know what? Honestly, X factor might be a necessary thing for something else. Because it makes sense. I don't know what it's for, but it's a good one. The special treatment is crazy for which one? Oh, for the mythics? Ironheart Triller? I gotta look at that. Down the Superman trailer. Okay. So I'll go over what I'm planning on doing for, obviously for might. Obviously this is very simple and straightforward. It's very shrimple. It's a fist. But I also like that it kind of resembles like blocks, right? I could do a thing where it's a fist, and so it kind of looks like a thumb. But part of me, I wouldn't be against it not looking like a fist, and it just looks like bricks, and it also still looks like a fist. What do you guys think? Do you guys like the idea of it being a fist for might that also happens to look like bricks? Or should it look like a wall of bricks for might? Because the symbol is a square, because might is compacted, right? It's really thick and strong. They spoiled. There's only a few, so will might and would I can't read. Will might and magic Why can't I read? Will might and wild and magic and moxie be opposites? Like fire being the opposite of water and earth being the opposite of air. Kinda, sorta. Yeah, kinda, sorta. Might and moxie. Actually, it's more... might be more might and moxie are opposites, magic and wild. Like wild magic versus magic, and then might versus moxie. It'd be funny to see a line in this where it says a character used moxie. How do you mean? I like brick fist. I say wall looking fist or fist looking ball. I'm not really a fan of brick. Seems too simple. XOTEMPO, indeed, indeed. 2 hours in, chat. Let's do fist for now, because that is recognizable to people, right? Now, this one, very simple. Like I said, simplicity is the king here, right? Color is also a very important thing. Red is very much filled with passion and, you know, in the case of muscle, it's also red. And I would basically... red and rage, right? Blue is magic, it's calm. The triangle also makes sense because it's a wizard hat. So this symbol is going to be very simple. It's going to literally just be a line like that. If anything, I can do with the negative space, cut the line right there, so it looks like a magic hat. Moxie. Now, moxie, I wanted to do maybe something like a diamond, right? But to me, like a heart shape really works because heart is courage. You know? Your heart is what gives you moxie. So I can put the diamond like a heart of diamond, you know, like right here. So the negative space, like instead of the line, is something like this. And you guys might be thinking, Bon, these are too simple. And the answer is yes, they have to be. Because they're going to be tiny little symbols next to your creature's name. And they'll denote what your build is, right? Drink water? Yes, good point. Thank you. I'll do my... and I'll stretch too. Thank you. I see no reason not to stick with a combination of fist and brick wall. Magic and wild actually have much more in common, and the same with might and moxie. Wait, isn't that what I said? Might and moxie? I could have sworn that's what I said. When applying this to shape language, yeah, exactly, more blocky. Yeah, everyone's... well, no, I don't need to stretch because I haven't drawn yet, but thank you. That's such a good point. I should stretch, but at the same time, I didn't even draw. I feel like colors like orange or yellow would represent moxie better. Interesting. Orange is a little close to red. If anything, I like green. Courage, Undertale fan. I like green because green is like a color of vitality. Juan, will there be items like TMs? Maybe. I think too early to tell, but maybe. What color do you guys think? Magic could also be green, to be honest. What do you guys think? I think Moxie should be green, to be honest. You know what? I like the symmetrical thing that's happening. I'm gonna make... I think I am going to make it symmetrical, and it still kind of looks like a fist. Like, it is very much an abstract fist. I like that it looks like a brick wall and a fist, because everything seems very symmetrical, and I like that wild will be like a circular shape, which is very normally, I'm not to say a boring shape, but it's just round. I get to add a little bit more energy. You know? Because it's going to be... Is that too much? Because it's supposed to look like a hurricane, you know? Okay, actually, you know what? Let's do something... A Halo sung highly hand? What is that? Mana is usually represented with blue, so magic works as that color. That's true. I like the colors we have here. I agree. Stegosaurus Playground Mon? Oh. Have you seen Pokemon Horizons? No, I don't plan to. Oh, the Skyrim Potion color code? Remind me, Divided. It's been so long since I played that goated game. It's kind of a physical special status mechanic. It's not a status mechanic, but it's how your build would develop. Like, if you... I want, like... So you know how, like, in Pokemon, nature's kind of changed, like, the way you build your Pokemon? In this game, your build... And what the X here is, and I haven't really talked about it yet because I haven't fully sorted it out yet. The X is its base form. Like when you catch it, you can find some Xotempo in its like base kind of like natural state. And this one will be like a gold kind of color. And there's something special about this mechanic that I won't talk about yet. But what I'm trying to get at is, in reality, when you find your Xotempo in the world, they are going to be you might find them in like various similar kind of states. It's not really a role. I had something like that planned, but I'm not super keen on it because then just like we were talking about like the ancestries, right? You would expect like certain creatures, if I made them a support, you would think they were like, you know, let's use Overwatch rules or MMO rules. Like they might be a little more delicate looking, right? Whereas tanks will be really strong and thick bodied and whatnot, you know? That's not going to be the case. Do we like purple for... Oh, wait. Special and physical. So the fact that red and blue over here make purple kind of makes sense. But then the fact of the matter is Moxie is more physical than special. So there's no color combination there. So what other color could wild be? Red could have made sense for wild. If I did red for wild, then what color would Oh, I'm just making the Ubisoft logo. Oh, that's cool. It's like a tomoe. Actually, I really like that. Damn it. Um, for the red for health potions, might, blue for mana, green for stamina, vitality. Yeah, I hear that. Thank you. They do have the symmetrical. Oh, that's right. You did just tell me that the other day. It sounded hell threw me off. I wasn't sure what that was. Well, it looks like an energetic hurricane, impossible phoenix at the same time. Very nice. Green is a common color for villains. I guess Moxie is like Slytherin. Not really. Moxie's not like Slytherin. But I'm just guessing. But are there other legends the embodiment of these types? No. Right now, I just have the starters because like it kind of threw me off when I connected. Like, I didn't really think I was gonna go this route. Like, I could also even see myself scrapping wild. But since Moxie is a combination of physical and you know what? Technically, if these are going to be maybe it could be like attack, like magic, like dexterity, and like wild could be speed or something. There's still a lot of cool things I can figure out. Okay, so red, blue, blue, green. I like a more vigorous, not vigorous, like bright green, purple. Oh, like the row below the turtle. No, Thunder, it's not. Bonnie voice acts everything. How are you gonna tell which one is him? I don't know if there'd be voice acting in this very indie game. Unless we got like somehow some crazy huge budget or something. But melee range support, saying elites are an alien species, copy. Special physical yo, Dingus, I was just saying that. Maybe it could be that, and then I don't really have to have the I think that might be better. Right? Like Moxie could be yeah, that might be better. And you know what? Like, if you choose to, X is like the most balanced. That might be it. Moxie would be defense. How about this? Might is damn, but might is not defense. I like purple for wild. Because it's a bunch of colors coming back together. Most media portrays black as chaotic. Maybe brown or teal. I want to keep it in the like the simple color families first. Like purple for a while. I think we're using primary colors, and then a mixed color for purple. Blue, red, and yellow. Yeah, I definitely need to have like the blue, red. I found the name. What's the name? I could see it working to make the middle symbol a neutral color, like white or black, and using yellow for Moxie. I think that could be cool. The X could be called Mix. Interesting. X is going to be for XOTEMPO. That's a secret. Like it's just default, you know? Um, I'll have to come up with a special logo for it. Maybe that could be the X factor. Ooh, I got something. I can't talk about it. I just thought of something. All right, let's do this. This is fun. I don't know why this is so fun. Like, why is this fun? I like the white and black idea because there is a lot of balance theming. It could be like a thick black outline. Might is attack, physical. Magic is special. Moxie could be defense. Does that track? I feel like it could. Tell me if you guys feel like it's a stretch. Unless we get another simple word. Because Moxie could be defense, like you're putting up your guard. Using your courage. Oh, and you know what? This kind of looks like a shield. Like maybe I could just make this like an upside down triangle instead of a heart. So in an interesting kind of way, this could be, and then wild would be green, like you're fast as the wind. I feel like that tracks. Oh, like a hurricane. And you know what? I'll get rid of, now that it's not like, maybe there's an M name I could use for, man, I love the Tomoe. I want it tattooed. The Sharingan. Moxie. I like Moxie's defense. I think so too. So then, what other M words? You can make Moxie purple, purple heart. I see what you did there. Although I like my primary colors, like right now, it's like, this is looking really good. And you know what? Maybe X? You know, part of me does like having the X be gold. Because I do have a lot of the legendaries, like, fitting with gold. Actually, that reminds me of something else. We're not doing that. Maximum. Ooh, what if we did this? That looks cool. We'll keep it simple, though. I like the defense. It's like, it looks like a shield. Do I even need this? It could just be as simple as that. I like how simple these are. Black and white also feels like legendary colors. X-Men these. Also, wild makes me think of nature, so the green makes a lot of sense. That's true, but wild is speed. It doesn't. The name doesn't track anymore because it was supposed to be like the fourth thing, you know. Wild. Maintain for Moxie. Maintain's too long. I like, so Magic, Might, and Moxie are only 5 letters. I like that kind of thing, you know? Mobility, that's true. I like the upside down triangle. Moxie, very symmetrical. Yes, absolutely. I like that too. It's a little plain, but so is, I mean, this Magic Hat is pretty plain. Let me look up 5-letter M words. Because we need something that could be like speed. Manic. I did have manic here. I bet you I have it somewhere here. Oh, and mania. Magic, mania, might, and moxie. Ooh, these are from very old design documents. Back when bruiser, tank, and supporter was a thing, mounts. The original typic, lithic, runic, cryptic, gothic, and mythic. So it stayed the same for a long time. I like manic. Merit's cute too. Mobile, wonder, manic for speed, but it works, but it also doesn't, right? Let's double check the meaning of manic. Well, it means a state by extreme excitement, euphoria, and high energy levels. But it's a behavior that's full of activity and stress. Megalomania. Manic does work. I'll mark it down here. And if for whatever reason I end up changing magic, might, moxie, and wild, Manic makes it confusing with the other types. How so? Explain yourself, Arthur. Mass for moxie. Mass. I'm gonna look up the 5-letter words. I also like wild being its own thing. If it's not speed, right? Because I like special, physical, defense. What could a fourth one be that's not speed? Modest. What could the fourth be if it's not speed? You have, oh, myth. No, we have mythic. Let me pull up my decks. Manic makes it confusing with the other type. I don't understand though. Like the whole point is it's meant to be consistent. Magic, mythic. Oh, moxie. Oh no, magic. Oh, and then moxie is the only one without it. I don't think that makes it confusing, does it? Oh, you're saying with... Well, we already have magic though. So would I have to take magic out? Luck. You know what? I mean, so right now I have dex, speed, attack, defense, and charisma. So if I have you guys building based on... So we have attack, defense. Charisma is your magic in my game. Like might raises attack. Moxie raises defense. Magic raises your charisma. It could be either speed or dex. Mania, speed. Unless dex is your ability to dodge. Mirth. Also, I like the idea of a magic symbol, but it doesn't read as wizard hat. Have you ever thought about making lower power to flare out? It does a little bit. In my first version, it did flare out a little bit. The thing is, it's not like you need to be a wizard to cast magic. Like, for sure, that helps with symbology. I like the simplicity more than I need it to read as an object, in the same way that, like, this isn't a formal fist because, you know, a thumb is on this side. It looks like two thumbs, right? but it still looks like a fist while being a brick wall. This is a triangle that still looks like a wizard hat, right? Why is it called Dex? Dex in Pokemon is known short for Dexter. No, I think it's for Codex. A codex is any collection of data information. Mover might be a little too like on the nose. So okay, if we have special, physical, okay, attack, defense, manic. Interesting. I would have to say, do you guys like, those are the four main thing, right? Mine looks like both offensive and defensive due to the fist. That's true. That is true. Now, if that's the case, right? Then I could do something like what Divided by Zero is saying, where if I were to start making these maybe individualized shapes, like I do something like this for might, where it's not really a square anymore. And again, this is only for the direction if, you know, it could be something like flared out brim there, you know, which this would definitely read more like wizard hat. I mean, I'm not a, you know, I don't hate that. And then maybe defense. Kind of looks like a little hard, but oh, you know what? Maybe I could make this just more of a stalwart. So would that make the most amount of sense for you guys? Yeah, that makes sense, right? Where it would be these four. So should I change magic then? Because Arthur was saying it might be confusing if manic and magic have the ick part. Still looks simple, but more distinct. What do you guys think? And I don't know if this reads as speed to me. That might be something. It might have to be. How do I make it speed? Graphic design is my passion. Magic, Manic, one different. That's true too. Could use Mania instead of Manic. But Mania doesn't feel like speed to me. What about Star for Magic? Star might be a little more detailed of a shape. Like, it's not that detailed, let's be honest, Red. But, like, I like the simplicity of, like, something like that. And I also like that it's inverted. It's more readable as what they're supposed to be. I think so, too. Like, it kind of, like, allows me to not live in the very obvious shapes, which I wouldn't mind because that is uber simple and, like, that is much of my design philosophy for a lot of this. A wing, Sonic Mania. Speed is maybe like a slash lines, like something like that. Like a sideways diamond type of thing. and then I cut it like 3 slashes, you know? I don't like it. I like the idea of the 3 slashes, but this isn't the incarnation. Now make a foot for... Honestly, like, Joe, you're half trolling, but, like, you're half right. Macro gives me speedy vibes. Interesting. Because you use macros for shortcuts, for speed. While it could be mistaken for attack rather than speed. You're right. Monster energy, dude. Okay, let's see. I've got... These are 5-letter words. Mabon, Maka, Macer, Maka, Machi. Mock. What if I did mock? It's not 5 letters, but it's like... You know? Like a mock type. Like I could say a mock type Ocelot. Motion. Motion's a little too long. Like it sounds... I know I have a lot of bounds, but that's how you live in the boundary of what you set for the intentionality to read, right? Motion fits, but it's just 1 syllable too long. Well, it's only 2. Motion. When you spell it, I'm going to keep it like super simple. I know it's like, I get very, what's the word? I have to run the tight ship. If you did the DLC, they got to pay extra for that. Usually there's a trinity of tank healer, damage dealer. It's just rare to find a consistent 4th. The most effective being a mover or intel. You're right. I originally had only 3. You know what? I could even... Mana instead of magic. Mana's more of a resource, though. Musty? Ew. It's not 5 letters, but it works. Mock gives you more the idea of a mechanical thing. Oh, interesting. Because you have mech. Motor. The wall symbol seems too different to me at the other specific block shapes where the spiral circle was really good. And this is not staying. And it's not wild right now either. So this one is still up in the air. Magic, Might, Moxie. Dang, now the magic part of the ick thing is really getting to me. It's a good call out, Arthur. Let's see. Manga. What if we just go 4 letters? Is Mock, Mana, and Mass. Okay, you know what? Mass. I'm not... Even though mana's a resource, you're not wrong. Mass, Mana, Mock. And there's no reason why I'm doing M. It's just that, like, I happened to start with Might and Magic, and then when Moxie fit, I was like, oh, okay, cool. Call these modes. I like it. And then they're all starting with M's. What mode is your Xotempo? Like your Ocelot is in Mock mode or Mass mode, Mana mode. Magus. I'll mark Magus. Also, you guys are willingly giving up these information for the greater good. Thank you. Mediocre? That's a negative trait anyway. Mass. Oh, word. Doesn't need to be all M. At the same time, oh, Mary is a cute one. At the same time, I guess if it doesn't need to, let's say power, a power build, what would you call a magic build? I guess intelligence, right? What a weird stream today. I hope this is entertaining for you guys, by the way. Thank you for hanging out with me. Um, like studied, right, for a mage. Clever, sharp. Mask for charisma. I like the M keeps it all tied. Yeah, me too. Feral, 5-letter but no M. Very phonetically satisfying. That's what I like to do, you know? Magus or Magus. You couldn't abbreviate modes though, since they are all the same. Oh, that's interesting. Arcane, that's true. Because I could do POW for power, ARC for arcane. Having them being different things isn't the worst either. I do like the bow thing. It looks and sounds really satisfying. I'd save that for a last resort. Yeah. Current D&D character 7 intelligence. Yikes. Good luck. Defense. If it wasn't another word for defense. Shield, guard. Arcane shield build. I guess shield build would make sense. And you know, the visuals really fit well. And then another word for speed is... You know what? I wouldn't mind these. Because then you could abbreviate it. I didn't consider that. Like, if you're making, like, whatever the kids use these days for, like, references, right? On the forums or whatever. If you're like, oh, I'm trying to build a Blastoise with a power build, and you could just write P Blastoise. Or like, I'm trying to build a Shield Blastoise, S Blastoise. I'm trying to build a Arcane Blastoise, A Blastoise. A dot blast. You know what I mean? Mirth for charisma? No charisma. You know what? Charisma is magic. Is it? I'll figure all this stuff out, I promise. Has 15 wisdom? Copy. Character's close to brain dead, exactly. How did you not only start XOTEMPO, get the ideas and stuff, but how'd you keep it going and stay motivated and didn't give up? For me, it always ends bad. You sounded ancient with that statement. I'm getting up there. Full screen time. I'm gonna basically... Do I look like extra 4K? This is nice. I'm gonna say something to Dingus and everyone about this is why they tell me not to wear 2 chains. All right, we're just gonna let it sit. You're not supposed to wear silver and gold together, apparently, but I don't want to ever take my cross off. Okay. How did you not only start up XOTEMPO, get the ideas and stuff, but how'd you keep it going and stay motivated and didn't give up? The thing is, all of this always comes down to inspiration, passion, but it finishes with discipline, right? Like, we could be inspired every day, right? Inspiration, it could come from like an internal want or need, right? A need to create something, do something. But at the end of the day, I would say that it's discipline that really carries you, right? When it comes to discipline, even if you're not inspired, you would still keep going. You might draw something that you don't love, but at least you drew, right? You did the practice, you put in the work. So when it comes to going and staying motivated, remember, XOTEMPO I did consistently for like 2-3 months last year, right? So it's not like I was consistent for a whole year. I was consistent for some time, which is a lot more easier to do than a whole year. right? So don't ever conflate it like, oh, he worked on this nonstop, like day and night for the last year. It truly comes down to how bad you want something, right? Like whenever I hear about, let's go into, and I'm sorry if we're going into a more a different direction because we were drawing just a second ago, but I wanted to talk about that stuff because I think it is very important. Like, why does, sometimes our projects we love, we might love something, but then it just kind of disappears in thin air. Like you were working on it and then you just stopped. Was it burnout? Did you exhaust all of your ideas? It's all about discipline. Like it really does come to discipline, right? Like how bad you want something and that you consistently work towards it. So failure doesn't have to mean like, oh, I stopped after 5 days. Okay, you stopped after 5 days, but maybe you picked it up again in 5 days, right? Did you get back up? So what I enjoy about working on stream is you guys are like rooting for me, cheering me on. Like I'm intrinsically inspired. I'm intrinsically making this for myself, but I'm also making it for you guys, right? That's another inspiration, right? Find these different fonts of inspiration and just do it. Just do the thing, right? I have my iPad here. I have my tablet here. When I'm outside, if I get an idea, I scribble it on my phone. I draw it in my Commonwealth book, or I might write or script, sketch in my sketchbook. So the avenues of your creation doesn't have to be just drawing. It could be sitting in the bathtub, taking a bath and getting an idea and scribbling it down. That's still progress, right? So yeah, sorry if I went on this tangent, but like, I think it is super important to remember, like, we're not failures because we gave up for a brief moment or, it always ends bad. It doesn't have to. Change your story, right? Commit to something. Like, have your goal, right? And like, commit to it. If Xotempo gets big, when Xotempo gets big. Change how we talk, right? Okay. I'm going to answer... What the... Oh, I was chatting for so long. Hope that helps. How did... I saw something. Overwatch, dude. That's Ramatra. My favorite tank who I made. And Reinhardt, too. Trust me, the stream has been super entertaining. Thanks, gaming. I'm obsessed with words, so sitting here and thinking of names scatter. Hell yeah. I gotta head out to and love the stream. No worries. Thank you so much. I appreciate your kind words and for hanging out. You guys, make sure you leave a like. I think what I want to do before I close up shop, because it's already almost 7 and I want to hit the gym, I'm going to... Do we want this last one to be speed? I think it has to be, right? Might. I do like the M names too. But again, if people are describing their builds online, the whole absolutely, of course, and you're welcome. Maybe you could do MIG Blastoise, MOX Blastoise, MA Blastoise. I didn't really consider the fans and how they communicate with each other. It's like an interesting part of design you don't think about, right? Because otherwise it's very simple. I could just go power build, shield build, arcane build, and something else. But the power and intentionality behind word choices is also huge, Speed is the most intuitive 4th build. I think so too. Big Man Blastoise, Big Man. I love that song. And like the animation is so funny. I think that's from Pokken Tournament, right? It does need to be speed. Oh, tempo. But we're not going to do tempo. Pace, rapid, fastness, celerity, velocity, race, the race build, sprint build, hurry, dash build. Ooh, dash, and it could be like a thunderbolt. You know? I, and you know what? By making the thunderbolt for the dash build, dash, rush build, hasten, career, streak, zoom build, zoom, dash, shield, power, and arcane. It's giving Deoxys forms. Yeah, low key. I could do green. Yeah, I could just do green. And that way, if I do, because if I do yellow, you're gonna think of it as you're gonna think of it as the Pokemon type, but we're not playing Pokemon, we're playing Xotempo. I think that's very intuitive. And again, even if I wanted to, I think Manic Thunderbolt like tracks too. And green is a very vital energy. I think this really works for me, chat. What do you guys think? I don't like that little thing at the top. Does yellow track for the color of defense? Not really to me. Not really, chat. What do you guys think? Maybe flip green and yellow. Like I was saying, the only thing is if I do that, it's going to feel very Pokemon Thunderbolt, you know? Unless I give the gold back to X for Xotempo, which I would like. And then I'm going to type what color is defense in video games. Let's see what happens. Why do we associate, someone on Reddit writes, why do we associate attack with the color red and blue with defense in most video games? Red is more aggressive as a color. Red is the color of blood. But why blue with defense? It's passive. The sky, the ocean, they're usually calm and they're blue. So what if I did do blue for the shield? And then for magic, it's a combination of physical and defense, so it'll be like purple. That feels, actually, that kind of feels good to me too. I don't like the split there. What a funny stream today was, huh? All right, there's always like some sort of split in the lines and stuff. How do I do that here? Maybe it's just straight up through it. Okay, I kind of like that. Ooh, that's kind of sick. Even look kind of looks like S for speed. Yellow is speed. HP is green. That's true. Is yellow speed? Defense equals green to me. Yeah, because I do see HP is green as well. Yellow magic. Isn't this funny? And blue lightning. This is so funny. More than just pets? When? No. Yellow magic. This is so hard. Everybody's got different opinions. This is cool. I would basically, in my game, then I would just simply put... Wait, you know what? I'm going to do green for, like, magic. And then, yeah, maybe it is going to be yellow bolt. I like that. I don't love... Because, like, it's going to feel like Pokemon Thunder. You know? Shield's a mixture of physical and special defense, so purple could stay blue and shield be purple. Shield's a mixture of physical and special. I should make symbols for the different species and factions. It's always a good thing to build out this kind of stuff, you know? Because green could also be stamina. It could also be HP bar. Well, no, your HP bar is... Well, yeah, some HP bars like in Pokemon is green. In other games, it's red. Pokemon's far from... Yeah, no, it's not that I don't think it's a ripoff. I just don't want people to look at it as a typing. Like, they will see, especially if I call these types, if they see this, they're going to be like, it is an electric type. And it most certainly isn't, you know? But it also makes sense, but I do like electricity as the symbol for, like, a speed build, a dash build. I'm going to look up symbols for speed and just see what most designers do. Symbols for speed. Oh, that's interesting. I could do like an arrow type of thing. An arrow would make sense. I'm going to just save this on the side. And this will be like the last thing, and we'll call it. Because it's officially coming on to, let's call it in 4 minutes. 4 minutes, chat. And we 3 hours stream. Jesus. It could be literally as simple as this is. I think it would be fine. I think something like this makes sense. And I cut it right down the middle, like an arrow. That makes sense. Look, these are all kind of like vaguely triangular too. Like they've got some triangles and like blocky kind of shapes. Oh crap, look, this is the exact same shape as the shield. We cannot do that. Oh wait, so why don't I do shield? Oh, I got it. Chat, look at this. And I could make it look like castle walls. So that one could be like the square. These are all, think about it, like very fantasy kind of based. We have like castle wall. And I'll do a line like that. You have the arrow, which is very medieval, but it's like pointing in a direction, like you're zooming in that direction. You have the mage hat. And like this could also be, instead of mage hat, I could also very much do like a swirling green energy if I wanted. And then for might, I'll make the shape it's a little close to, oh, what if I did something like this? Nope, that looks dumb because I don't know what that's supposed to be. It could be, wait, now I could do the slash thing. Right? Hold on, let's do, let me save this. This is fun. Like, it's crazy how fun this was. Oh, and if I do this, it's like an M. I'm not going to. I need to. I mean, that looks pretty cool. Kind of like that, chat. It feels very violent. People might think the Flash logo, maybe, but as much as Flash logo is Thunderbolt. Maybe both a lightning bolt and an arrow. I think this kind of works for me. Orcana, Orca, and Mana. Oh, Alex, you're way back. Way back. I would say I don't want to overcomplicate symbols, so I'd rather keep it like one thing. And like you have these like abstract yet elegant and simple symbols. Because I have the symbols and I usually have like a simple kind of line. Like just to break up and add a little interest. Two stacked arrows pointing up. That feels like a more general stat boost. I think going in a direction helps it kind of feel like you're going fast in a direction, like you're racing towards something. Even though yours makes sense too, right? Like going fast, like raising your speed, you know? Shield. I could even just simply call it like attack build, tank build, mage build, you know, like simple. Would it be weird to make the magic symbol be a broom? Yes. I think because a broom is a very thin thing, so like this takes up more space. Again, also, I think magic could be a swirling green energy as well. You know? I really see the lightning arrow though. Yeah, like it could still be both, you know? In fact, I think I'd rather the mage symbol be a swirl of like energy than the witch's hat. The witch's hat works, don't get me wrong. But now we've got like the triangle shape here. We've got the square shape here. We've got the circle shape here. And we've got a more ferocious shape here. Now, I will say I'm not married to the might I'm not married to the might icon yet. This looks like a wisp of like mystical energy, right? It's simple, but it kind of works. Magic, shield, or wall. I like this. Like, it's very distinct shapes, chat. Very distinct shapes, very distinct colors. I think each color really works well. Is this it? Maybe make the magic swirl purple and green for the X since it's their natural mode? What do you mean natural? Make the magic swirl purple and green for the X. X, I'd rather have black and white because that is... Oh, I say natural. Magic... Xotempo, I would want them to be as neutral as possible. If anything, I would want it to be gold for the X. You know what? If anything, I think this is what I'm gonna do. I'm going to make potentially so the natural mode that I'm saying. I think I'm going to make this the bonded form. Very distinguished. I think so too. I'm going to probably, if anything, make it that you can forego trying to build a directional build. And if you want your Xotempo in its natural state, that is the bonded form, or whatever I call this X form. That makes sense. And I might make the speed the green. Green screams HP to me, damn it. That's going to be... Okay, so maybe it's... Maybe we do keep that green. What color is speed in video games? Looks magnificent? Thank you. It's so simple, but it's so... However, the perception of speed is highest in a yellow environment. It might be yellow, chat. We might keep it yellow. And then maybe I do just keep it white and black. The most neutral colors, like their default state. Oh, wait. What if I did this, chat? Ready to blow your minds? Windows logo. It's cute. It's a little on the nose, but it tells you it is in its natural form as a Xotempo. You bonded it, and you've bonded with it all the way, and kind of like you're not focusing on one aspect on it. You're letting it be itself, and therefore it's the combination of everything. You know? Nice to see the streams going. Yeah, I like it a lot. I think, you know, obviously there's a little more tweaking I need to do, like just to add a little more personality to everything. I'm not entirely sure on, excuse me, not, I said sure. On the might yet. Sonic's known for speed and he is blue, but he is very much a very unique and distinct character. And I'm not trying to do that. Awesome idea for the X. It might be something like that. It could be a little too much, and it does remind me of Microsoft Windows. What if I made might? I'm looking at certain attack symbols, and you've got like sword, obviously. But it would be... I don't like the sword would be too thin, kind of like the broom. Oh, what if might is like kind of like something like this, like a kapow kind of thing. It's a little similar to the X shape, kind of. Sweet to me is always represented with either green, blue, orange, or yellow. That's still a lot of colors. It's hard to decide on just one. That's the interesting thing. Everybody seems to have a different perception, which goes to show how inconsistent video games are, or our exposure to certain games are different, right? In Pokemon, your health bar is green for vitality. However, in many other video games, your health bar is represented by red, right? There, like, every one of our logic, all of our logic is sound, chat. That's the funny part. All of our logic is valid. It's just that our experiences are all different. No one is more right than the other. I can get to a point where more people agree with certain things than not, you know? But yeah. Shield being compact as a square makes sense. An arrow kind of triangle for speed makes sense. Magic being like a swirling energy makes sense. So that would make triangle, square. Let's use simple shapes, right? We've got a triangle already. We've got a circle. We got this. What are we missing? It could be a diamond. A diamond shape could be like it's got like these four sharp edges. Oh wait, hold on. This could go back to the triple slashes thing. Oh, and it'll look kind of like a bear claw. So here we have a diamond shape that looks like a bear claw for a slash. The diamond is the prevalent part of the... Oh, I like that. And each thing now has its own distinct shape. Hexagon. Hexagon is a little too chunky, I think. This has enough sharp edges and also creates an abstract image of an attack, right? Either slashes or a bear claw. Overall produces a diamond. I think it fits for me. No wrong answer as long as it aligns with my thoughts perfectly. That's a joke. I like how it might be represented by a claw mark makes it sound more brutal. Like it's representing might as it is right mentally. Ooh, peak. I like this. It is crazy how different. This is the original icons. Obviously, remember, this was for different things. It was special attack, physical, physical, special, and special, physical. So I quite really like now that the shapes still fit what they were meant to be, like heart for moxie, your courage. Your fist is physical, balled up. Your magic, you're concentrating your energy. And wild, you're like the swirling vortex of all these emotions. So yeah, the new ones definitely have a lot more character. Now we just need to give them a little more character. But I love how simple it is. I'm looking at... I wonder how this should be. Like if I should do a thing where they like kind of blend. Because again, my only issue is it definitely straight up looks like the Windows logo or like Google. Ooh, That looks kind of cool. When it's kind of blended. It kind of looks like the Smash Ball or something. And maybe... maybe it's like pulsating, like once you max it out. Because this is your bond form in the middle. And you've like unlocked your Xotempo in a more balanced state of play. That looks cool. Loving the direction. Time for me to go. No worries. I'm going to call it right now. Right for the center of the X. Outline could be different colors or blended. Yeah, I kind of like this. This feels very right. And then what I'll do is I will shift each of the colors this way. So it's hitting each corner. And that way it's making an X and it's the center. Ooh, that's fire. Hold on. You know what? I'm going to... I want to quickly do that on stream so we can see what it looks like. How simple and silly that like something like that is exciting. You know? Let me close that out. Oh, there's that. Okay. It'll just be easier for me to just edit it on my computer with a mouse and keyboard. Okay, I know today is a very different kind of stream. There was a lot to cover as we get back into Xotempo. So you'll have to forgive me that today's one, it's a little more of a reintroductory, right, kind of stream. Also, you know how like into like making these like connections and stuff is so important to me. Like even with the cross symmetry and all this kind of stuff here. I can wait 5 minutes. What if it had sharper points like a star rather than an X? It might. There's still plenty of room. Ultimately, like even with the Xotempo logo, which I don't think I have up here. Like however this X will essentially be the same shape of however I do like the X of the logo. I want it to be like one of the clear symbols, you know? What the? Oh, that's annoying. Okay, there's 2 documents now. I just want to see what it looks like. Because now you'll see each thing. You'll see each X kind of thing pointing to the symbol. What if I just kept it simple, chat? Why am I doing magic, this, that? What if I do attack build, defense build, speed build, and magic build? Right? Or like, what's another word for arcane? That does look really nice. And it makes an X too. What I'll do, I'm not going to design these on stream because this isn't like super necessary, I don't think. Like these are going to affect more, I'd say. Right? Like how you want to play your mons. This is going to be tied to the mons, sure, but it doesn't change the designs of the creatures. Is it fun? Because I haven't really familiar. No worries. Yeah. Like, there's still so much that's going to be adjusted and changed and edited. So, no worries. You guys are going to be learning a lot about XOTEMPO throughout. See, I say Summer of Xotempo, but like, I'm not going to be spending as much time. Like, it might be, but you know, I'm waiting on hearing back from school, and I mean, even though school would start a little later, there is a lot I'm just considering, and you know, I'll be very honest with you guys. I haven't really considered what I'd be doing with streaming once school starts, or even when I finish XOTEMPO, because I really don't want to work on Pokemon art as much anymore. Like, I will say, I am consistently working on collabs with Ron. So you guys will always get to see my Pokemon kind of stuff there. But if it's anything, maybe I do continuously just work on XOTEMPO on stream, right? And let that be my focus. Right? Truth be told. It would be cooler, I think, with like a more sharper edge, I think. Because the current setup is very... Ooh. The current setup is very blocky. Again, however the logo ends up looking is how I'm going to make the X look. Because you want to have that consistent branding, right? I can see once it's like you've got unlocked the bonded thingy, like this thing is like just pulsing. Didn't I? I could have sworn I blended this. Something like that. All right, so there you go. The icons. Well, I need to see how it's evolved. You know what? Now that I'm thinking about something. Okay. Chat, I'm going to call it now. It's now almost 3.5 hours. You guys got to learn about ancestries, the build. I'm just gonna call them builds, like what builds they come in. So make sure you guys leave a like on your way out. I would greatly appreciate it. Yeah, me too. I'm excited to keep working on this stuff. It's gonna be great. Whether or not this evolves in a certain direction, still very early to say, you know? But the main thing for me right now is I really want to make sure that XOTEMPO, like, you can really build your friends to be how you want them to be. it's not going to be this thing where it's like completely, I got to figure out where the strategy is going to come from, because I don't necessarily want type stuff, but it might be. I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. But guys, I want y'all to have a wonderful day. I'll see you potentially tomorrow for the next stream. It'll be more monster-based design, so it'll be more fun, okay? It'll be awesome. It'll be really fun, I promise. I'm going to work hard for you guys. I'm doing it all for you. As much as it is for me, I'm doing it for you guys. I've been Professor Bohdi, aka Mr. Bonny John, aka David Boy. David Boy is the